Zoning Board of Appeals, please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone who would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First application is application 22202 of Douglas Brady, property located in Deer Park. Name and address for the record, please.
David Purdy, 24 Fenimore Avenue, Yonkers, New York, 10701.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated December 2nd, 2022. Environmental Control memo dated December 6th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Peter J. Barbizon dated April 11th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, we have 4 photographs on the site plan by Michael J. Calvi dated August 17, 2022.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
I'd like to thank the board for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here on behalf of Douglas Brady, the owner of a one-family located at 1 West 23rd Deer Park. I'm here to request a variance to maintain an existing condition on the premise. The condition is a detached garage, required setback 40 feet, actual setback 25 feet 9, requiring a variance of 14.3. The existing garage was built prior to Mr. Brady buying the house in the mid-1970s. There's no way to conform to code without creating a major hardship to Mr. Brady. The garage conforms to most of the garages on the street, which have the same setback or were converted to living space. The granting of this variance would not affect the health, safety, welfare of the general public, nor any surrounding properties. Further, this variance will not adversely affect values of any adjoining properties. I see you have it on the aerial, but I also brought some pictures.
That's fine, you can submit them, sure.
The pictures show that most of the garages and driveways are identical to what's there.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Cracchia.
What brings you here this evening? Are you selling the house?
Well, Mr. Brady's wife passed away. He had a stroke. So he's going to be looking to sell the house. He had to clear up everything.
Are you just clearing up the COs and anything?
Has to, yeah.
And it was there before this garage was
Honestly-
existing when he purchased the home?
50 years in construction, seeing the interior of the garage, I think it was built when the house was built.
Okay.
It's very old two-bys in there and roof rafters, so
Real
it's a pretty old
2x4s.
structure.
Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions on this one.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 22-202.
Second.
All in favor? Good luck.
Thank you.
Next application is application 22206 of Jeremiah Dalton, property located in Wyandanch. Okay. We'll recall that one later. Next application is application 22203 of Maria Greco, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
It's Michael Arado. It's 245 Route 109, Suite D, West Babylon, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated December 2nd, 2022. Environmental Control memo dated December 6th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Ralph Heel dated April 23rd, 2021. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 6 photographs on the site plan by Curtis M. Tuffman, no date.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
So we're here to maintain outdoor fire. It's like an outdoor kitchen with a fireplace. It's got a rear overhang, and there's 2 sheds. This was built without a permit, so we're here to maintain it. Client was unaware. She had a contractor who built all this, thought permits were pulled, permits were never pulled. Found out later that obviously she needed permits, so we stepped in and took on the property. The structure itself is built to 14 feet high. It's the fireplace that has the 2-foot difference of 16 feet. But the 2 foot's required for fire safety, so if there's like, flame or anything, nothing goes onto the roof, so that's why they needed to build that additional 2 feet higher. I know we're going for lot coverage as well, and the sheds, the side yard setback for the sheds meet, and I knew the front yard setbacks for the sheds don't meet. These sheds are literally like 1 foot over the total square footage allowed before you have to get a permit. They're like 101 square feet, these sheds. Homeowner really doesn't have any options right now to destroy this. I mean, I don't know if you guys have any pictures of the structure itself, but it would be like a massive loss for them to rip this all down. The structure itself is built to code, structural code. It just doesn't meet the zoning requirements for height.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Okay, so because these are all existing structures, why are you here today?
To maintain,
Are
to
they
get
selling the,
permits. Nah.
what made you just
So what happened was,
decided to?
So what happened was they were installing a pool, and then as they found out they had no permits for these additional structures, the general contractor never pulled any permits for this. So she called me up and said, hey, listen, we found out we have no permits. We want you guys to take this thing over, legalize everything, because they didn't want to get in any trouble about it. They had no idea that permits were never pulled. So we pretty much just kind of took this on. We didn't design any of this. We wouldn't have built it like this, too high.
Right.
Somebody else built, the general contractor built her the pool, which got CO'd recently, and all these outside structures.
Okay, so we do have a problem with the lot coverage. Can we get rid of one of the sheds?
I don't think they'd be opposed to that. I mean, I can speak to them and, we can make a note and tell you like, yeah, they're willing to remove one of them.
Okay, that's a good start. So the height of the roof for the outdoor kitchen
Is 14 feet
is 14 feet.
to the ridge, yeah.
The chimney
Is 2
is
feet
the
higher.
extra 2 feet.
But it has to be. And I know it's not supposed to be 16 feet, but the contractor had no choice because he built the ridge of the roof too high to begin with.
How long ago was this built?
I believe it was 2002 or 2001.
Okay. That's interesting. We don't have any complaints from the neighbors, so I guess it's not too problematic.
And the neighbor to the left and the neighbor behind, who would be like most affected by these structures, would have like no problem writing a letter to the town if that was required.
Okay, and so it looks like it's set up, so there's no way to cut down the columns to bring down the roof? No, that would be too,
Yeah, there's no way you're gonna be able to do that.
okay. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, the fireplace, is that brick?
Yes.
Okay. And
I have pictures if you want to see it.
It's a brick chimney all the way up?
Yeah.
the fireplace is brick also?
Well, the whole fireplace is stone. This is a picture of the structure
Yeah.
if you want to see it.
They did a good job, they just cut corners. Reserve. Yeah.
I already wrote that.
Oh, okay.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Oh, my God. Yeah, really. Okay, we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You get the decision in the mail.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night, everyone.
Next application is application 22-207 of Elizabeth and Donald Vassa. Property located in Deer Park. Name and address for the record, please.
Joe Oliveri, 39 Morris Avenue, Patchogue, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated December 2nd, 2022, environmental control memo dated December 6th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Paul Barlinski dated August 18th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 17 photographs and a site plan by Christopher Garden dated August 29th, 2022.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Good evening, members of the board, and thank you for listening to our case. I'm representing Donald Voss tonight in regards to this variance for existing structures that are built and not in compliance, and for a new garage addition. There are several existing structures that were built on the property before the current owner had the property. Those include a covered deck in the rear of the property, which is an issue for the rear yard setback, which is required to be 40 feet, and we have 31.2 feet. And then then we are looking to diminish the south side yard setback from 12 foot down to 6.3 feet, the total side yard from 30 down to 18.4 feet. We do have a 1 foot roof overhang encroachment. And then we have a shed in the rear yard, and we're looking to diminish the south side yard from 8 foot to 1.6 feet. Those are all for existing structures that are built on the property. The current homeowner, when they purchased the property, did not know that those structures were built without a permit. So as part of this process of filing a permit for a new garage, obviously we're here to clean up all of the other structures, as well as get permits and COs, inspections, et cetera. The biggest issue that we're seeing is the garage, the proposed garage. There is an existing garage right now, which is very small. It's only 12 foot wide, but there's not enough depth in it to fit a car. And there's a chimney that pops into it. His car just doesn't fit in the garage. My client likes to, play with cars. He has his garage activities, if you will. And the width of this garage doesn't allow him to have any of his toolboxes in the garage. So he came to me a year and a half ago and said, look, my house is really set back from the street, and I'd like to put this garage addition on the front. And I remember he told me, the first thing he said was that the left wall of the garage had to be 16 and a half inches away from one of the windows that was there, and that would give him enough width to park his car and have toolboxes, etc. So, long story short, the garage is about 650 square feet, which is 150 square feet roughly over what is permitted. The intent is not to get two cars in here. The intent is not to try and overstep his bounds. He just could not use the existing garage area, and is intending to do this addition so that he can have the proper width. Yesterday, we received a letter from the zoning board with some recommendations. The recommendations were, what can we do to reduce the size of the garage? Can we take an area of the existing garage and convert it to interior of the house so that we can reduce that 500 square feet? And there was also a question whether we can change the size and shape of the garage in order to make it work. I reviewed that with my client today, and we went through several iterations. And what I have here, I'd like to maybe hand up, if that's all right.
Yeah, you gotta stay by the mic, we're recording.
All right, so I'll try to make this work, but
That's okay.
basically, we're proposing to convert the rear area of the garage, which is really unusable as a garage right now, into a mudroom, so that when he's done playing with the car in the garage, he can come into the mudroom, get cleaned up, and then go into his house. Again, the pinch point is between this chimney. So if we build this partition across and convert this to a mudroom and add 2 new windows on the sidewall, that will help us with our light and vent calculations for the building code. We'll still keep it a rough space, right, because it's just going to be a mudroom, but that does get us down to 499 square feet, which is the maximum size of a garage, and my client has told me that he'd be willing to do that. Adversely, we looked at the option of reducing the width of the garage, right, which is 16 feet right down. That would also help reduce it. But the problem is that the symmetry of this house, right? If you look at one side on the left, you have the shape. On the right, it'd be a similar width. And when we started to reduce it, it didn't look good at all. And that was a decision that my client made that he said he would not look to do. So we're really hoping that the board will see that we made some changes to accommodate your requests.
Can you go back to that other request? Just the first reiteration.
The one you have up there.
Okay, we got it, okay.
Right, that's, oh, sorry, Mike, that's converting the rear of the garage to a
That's
mudroom.
converting the old garage into a mudroom, basically?
Exactly, right.
It's not a garage. So
Not
there'll be, what will be there? Is there'll be a wall there?
Yep, we put a wall up with a door.
Okay.
It would have to be a fire-rated wall, and it would have to be a self-closing, fire-rated door to protect the home from any garage activities. But when I presented it to him, he said, you know, that's not really a bad idea because I can't use the back of that garage, you know? It's just too tight. So it actually is kind of an opportunity out of defeat.
Is there an outside door here? Is there an outside door here to that mudroom?
No, there isn't. We're not opposed to it, but no, we don't have
So
an
there's-
outside door.
So there's no egress from that mudroom at all? I see there's a ramp up and down here and steps.
Right, there's access into the house, access out into the garage, and these could be egress windows.
So there is access from the steps into the mudroom.
Excuse me?
Well, behind your proposed
Oh, yeah,
mudroom.
here, this is
Yeah.
access from the house, right? Down a little ramp and into the mud. Yeah, there's access from the
There
house.
is, all
all
right,
the way
that's
through.
what he's asking.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we're asking.
Yeah, but there's no outside entrance. But yeah, we would just have to put in an egress window, right?
So the steps are inside the house?
Yes, these
Goes
are,
down to the
these are
basement?
steps to get into the basement.
Okay, all right. Interesting.
But this proposal here does not change the square footage of the proposed garage, though?
Well, it does, because if this area is not part of the garage anymore, the garage would be 499 square feet. That was the suggestion in the letter that I received yesterday, was to convert the old garage into finished space, so it doesn't count against it.
147 over with that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Oh.
Oh, yeah, I mean, would you be willing to do that and delete the number 6 of variance from 500? Because now the garage is going to conform to the 500?
Yeah.
So we could remove that variance of number 6 variance, we don't need that, because you're going to reduce the area of the garage to 500 square feet,
Excellent, yeah.
or approximately, or 490.
So it would be an as-of-right size garage,
Yes.
more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what we'd be looking for, yeah.
All right, and you have one shed that's 1.6 feet from the property line. If that shed is ever to be moved, can it be moved into a conforming location? I believe that's not a conforming location, correct?
Yeah, this is, again, is a very odd lot because the house is shifted so far back, there's almost no room in the backyard, you know, he's got no space, so, you know, I mean, would you be willing to relocate the shed, move it, you know?
No,
not now.
not now. If
If
the
you
shed
have
has
it-
to come down.
If you ever move it.
Oh, yeah, right, because what I'm saying is I don't think we can move it. It's
No,
held
what
together
we're
with,
asking is
you
in
know-
the future, if the
In the
shed's in
future, yeah.
disrepair, has to come down, would you
Absolutely.
agree to put it in a
I
conforming
misunderstood.
location?
Okay, so we have to eliminate.
Number 6.
And I just also want to add, obviously, that we're not asking with the side yard setbacks to increase the existing side yard setback that we have right now. On the south side of the property, we'd be matching the location of the wall. We're not getting any closer, and our overall side yards are not being reduced.
Existing.
Yeah. Set of plans?
Another set of plans to show this change here.
No.
As amended. We could do it as
Yeah.
amended with this,
yeah.
this new conform. Okay.
And I have copies of the plans I could file with you now. I have the boards can be left with you with the drawing.
For the change? Okay.
I'll give up my precious foam core boards.
All right, let's make a motion to, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to omit variance number 6 for case number 22-207.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay. Want to approve this?
Yeah.
New, conform to the new plans. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 22-207 with the condition that we are rebuilding to the updated plans
Second.
as amended.
Second.
All Oh, yeah. right.
Yeah, and if the shed is ever, that one shed is ever moved, it be rebuilt in a conforming location.
Second and third, second.
Okay.
All in, I get a second on that?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Right on top.
Next application is application 22-205 of Thomas Galgano, property located in North Babylon.
Hello, Thomas Galgano, 10 Strathmore Drive,
Okay. In North Babylon.
North Babylon.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated December 2nd, 2022. We have a denial on an application, 21-017. That also includes the findings on that denial. We have Department of Environmental Control memo dated December 6, 2022. Approve this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Michael Scalise dated July 16, 2018. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have a site plan by Sean R. Bird dated August 4th, 2020.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. I've been trying to build a detached garage for a while now. This is the second time I've put it through. This is my first home in the town of Babylon, so I guess I've been a little unfamiliar with the restrictions. I've downsized it again considerably, and I think this would be the size that I would feel comfortable building. I just hope that I could get the relief from you guys.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you? Good to see you again.
This is our first time. We've been on Zoom a lot.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Us too. So, yeah, I see you dropped this down a bit. The survey that we have here, where would this?
It's
where
going
do
to be all the way in the back corner of the yard.
So if I'm on Stratmore looking at your house, it's in the back right-hand corner?
Yes.
Okay. And you know about being off the property line?
Yeah,
what you
I'm
need?
I'm 10 feet off the fence lines and everything, and nobody, there's no neighbor behind me to complain, and the neighbor to the other side of me is on board with it.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to bother her again to come out.
I understand. What's the reason for the two driveways?
I bought the house like that. There wasn't any COs when I bought it, so it just came up when I filed for this variance again. I had no idea that it wasn't permitted. I bought the house unknowing. It's weird that, I don't know how they have it set up. The water meter is in that driveway, but then the garage is on the other one, so I don't know how long it's been like
You
that.
got a shed right behind the driveway, right? So
That's a
it's-
permitted shed, and there's a
Right,
fence.
but I mean, you can't drive through.
No, you
Yeah.
can't drive through that.
So what's your intentions? You're gonna go from the street to the right-hand side and
Drive all the way back, yes.
and what's the purpose of you like a hobbyist, or you got collectibles?
Yeah, I'm
or-
into cars, and I need more space for my tools, lawn equipment. I have a lot of property to take care of, and I don't want to add any additional sheds. I'd like to just be able to have everything in one shot.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions here. If we were to approve this, would you agree that the garage be for storage use only?
Yes,
Would you agree that no habitable space permitted within the garage?
yes,
Would you agree that no heating or plumbing within the garage?
yes,
And no commercial vehicle work were permitted?
yes.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'm good.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. You good? Okay.
That's good?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 22-205 with the conditions that the garage not be used for storage use only, no habitable living space permitted in the garage, no heating or plumbing within the garage, no commercial or vehicle work permitted.
Second.
As far as the second driveway,
That's a weird one.
yeah.
I don't know what to do with it either. I don't even really use it. The only reason it's there, some previous owner must have cut the curb, and I don't know if the concrete was how long it's been there.
So you don't use the driveway at all?
I mean, I use it just because my utilities are on that side. My water meter is right in the middle of it. If I ever have to kill the water, everything is right there. Like my gas is on that side. It's just a weird setup. It is nice to have the concrete there. I do like it.
Excuse me? Yeah, no, I know.
It'd be kind of hard to break up around all the utilities and to not have if I don't have to.
Just when we thought. No, well, legal does. Yeah. I don't either.
Let's,
Maybe we could make a motion that if I ever redo the curb in the front of the house, I'll cover it right up.
give us a second.
All right, is there any way that you could make this a circular driveway?
I would prefer that,
Would you be willing to do it?
yes.
Okay.
I
You
think I
understand
can make
that?
it work. I'll run the numbers.
You should be all right.
Yeah, there's plenty of space.
All right, again, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 22-205 with the conditions that the garage be used for storage only, no habitable space permitted within the garage, no heating or plumbing within the garage, and no commercial vehicle work be permitted.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you, everybody.
Good luck.
Have a great night.
You were persistent.
Consistency is
The
key.
stipulation that you're going to put in a circular driveway.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're good.
Steve.
Somebody representing you last time?
Wow. Don't you love North Babylon?
You was Zoom last time? Next application is application 22-201 of Thomas Plitt, property located in Deer Park.
Good evening, everybody. Thomas Plitt, 10 Oregon Street, Deer Park, 11729.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated December 2nd, 2022, environmental control memo dated December 6th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Frank Farantello dated June 16th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map and,
Chairman, we have 6 photographs.
okay, who would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah. First off, I bought the house 3 years ago, and there's a couple of things aside from the pool that I wanted to put in. I bought the house, and the previous survey that I had done had the shed on it already, but it seems as though one of the owners before me expanded on the shed. When you go in, you walk in the door, and then they expanded. So I believe there was a permit for the shed, just not the actual size that it is now. They added on to it. And the patio, which abuts the rear fence of my house, is only 6 inches from the fence. I did put the patio in when I bought the house, but I put it in, there was actually a deck there that was exactly the same dimensions, so I just went with the dimensions that were there, so it conformed to what it was. I was unaware that that was not legal. I was told when I went for the pool that it needs to be 2 feet from the fence. My back neighbor does not have a problem with it. She actually has a shed right on the other side of the fence, so she doesn't see anything on my side. So really, all I'm looking for is the permission to get the pool in, and I will conform to whatever needs to be conformed to. It does say that I should cut back that patio if I need to. I guess I will. I think we're probably going to put some trees there anyway if everything goes according to plan, so we'll be cutting it back anyhow. So that's really it.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Kretschmer.
Okay, so is this in-ground pool you're putting in?
Yes.
Right? Okay. And you're willing to cut that patio back 2
Yes.
feet? All right, and that should reduce the lot coverage area also.
Okay, if I put trees there, that's okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay.
We're looking to decrease the accessory structures. Okay, so if that shed was ever moved or reconstructed, you could reduce the size of it and put it
Yes.
in a conforming location,
Yes.
correct? Okay. Cutting back that patio should reduce the lot coverage also. I mean, this is for rear yard structures, whose total building area, 30. Okay, so. All right, if he's willing to cut back the patio to 2 feet, I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so if you're willing to cut the patio back to 2 feet, then we're going to eliminate variance number 5.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we omit variance number 5.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So you're going to have to do that now to being,
To conform.
Okay.
Any other
Would it
questions
be-
from the
I'm sorry,
board?
would it be possible to keep that with the variance? Would it be approved? I mean, I'd rather not do that, but if I had to, I would.
Well, they're looking to reduce the coverage of the,
Okay. All right, then that's
area
not a problem.
also.
That's fine.
and what is it, pavers?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
We need to, Katie, we need to recalculate.
The only reason why I was hoping to keep it is because right behind me there is a shed. It's like they're right up against my fence and I'm kind of right up against their fence. So it's, I mean, if it's just the matter of taking up too much of my backyard, I understand that, but.
Yeah, well, it'll also change the lot coverage too, so.
And reducing that 2 feet will change the lot coverage, which will be beneficial.
Okay.
Needs to submit a new plan? Yeah, okay.
Recalculation, right?
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Yeah, so let's move it as amended.
Chairman, I make a motion that we approve application 22-201 with the condition that subject to the recalculation of the lot coverage.
Second.
All in favor?
And with the condition as approved as amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
All right, good luck.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, where are we? Oh, yeah. Wow Foods. Application 22-180 food, 180 food. 185. Of Wow Foods LLC, doing business as Arby's. Property located in Farmingdale.
Evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Joseph F. Bazell, Blander and Visconti, 535 Broad Hollow Road, Suite B4 in Melville. Attorneys for the applicant. I have turned in the affidavit of posting, and I have reviewed the departmental comments.
Okay. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated December 5th, 2022. Environmental Control memo dated December 6, 2022. Approve this application will not result in significant impact. I guess this is all part of a site plan here by RMB Development Consultants, dated 6/15/20. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 5 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
The application concerns constructing a new monument sign and installing 2 menu boards in a recently constructed Arby's restaurant located on Route 110 on the west side, 2,843 feet south of Conklin Street. You don't generally hear a number that big to the nearest intersection in Babylon, but we're on an open highway corridor on this section of road. The lot has about 22,700 square feet, 150 feet of frontage. It's just over 200 feet deep on the north side and about 167 on the south. It formerly supported a countertop maker in an old unsightly building in poor condition. Adjacent to the south is a vacant lot owned by the state DOT. South of that is a multi-building shopping center with a number of food establishments as well as retail space. Adjacent to the north is the Trento Restaurant and Buffalo Wild Wings, then a few shopping centers. Across 110, the Marriott Courtyard, SUNY Farmingdale Aviation Center, and Republic Airport. On the 6th of October of 2020, the Planning Board approved the site plan and special permit to redevelop this property with an Arby's restaurant. There were no variances involved. A building permit was issued, the prior building demolished, and Arby's was constructed. The project, as is typical in development, now needs to address signage. There is a monument sign proposed in the front and 2 menu boards in the rear. The monument sign is, of course, not a pole sign. It's 6 inches high, and that's from grade, by 10 feet wide. The sign itself actually has less than 60 square feet because some of that is the structure. It's simple, it's well positioned. We're on Route 110, as the aerial shows. This is a highway corridor, 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, multi-lanes. That doesn't exist in many places in the town of Babylon. It's on the west side, so the entering traffic will be moving in a southbound direction. The site is screened considerably by the buildings to the north, most particularly Trento, which has an outside seating area and landscape buffer in front of it, as well as other signs and roadside improvements, road signs and telephone poles and things like that. You want the driver to see the sign clearly to avoid confusion and avoiding bad reactions. And also, if they pass the site, they have to circle around, and this is a divided roadway at this point. The setback variance is requested to bring the property closer to the street, which will make it more visible to drivers on the road. The menu boards are in the rear of the site, 2 is customary today. You can't actually read the copy on the menu boards from the street. Even seeing the boards themselves has a very limited view shed, but they are both in the rear of the site and designed to serve the drive-through. There was prior approval of another application concerning Chick-fil-A, which was approved in 2018. It had 5 variances. Chick-fil-A had 4 ground signs as well as wall signage variants. They are on the northerly extension of the same commercial corridor. More relief sought than in the present application. I'll turn in a copy of the Chick-fil-A approval, application 18-056. The sign variances sought are a necessary part of the redevelopment of an approved site, necessary for the site to function. The setback for the monument sign is necessary for the site to be identified to drivers on a highway corridor. The menu boards are in the rear and necessary for the drive-through to function correctly. If the board has any questions, I'm happy to take them.
No, this is already built, right?
The restaurant is built.
Yeah, the signs are not.
Signs are not there.
Okay. I have no questions. Any questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to approve application 22-185 for a period of 5 years.
Second.
All in
Thank you
favor?
very much.
Aye.
You too. Ho, ho. Next application is application 22-204 of All County Towing and Auto, property located in Farmingdale. Yeah, we'll make them wait. Should be able to get this guy out of here first anyway.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Glenn Nugent. I'm here on behalf of Old County Towing and Old County Towing of Auto Body. I'm from the office of Bruce Kennedy, PC, 31 Green Avenue, Amityville, New York.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated December 5th, 2022, environmental control memo dated December 7th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Fire marshal's report dated December 8th, 2022 has a valid permit. We are missing Suffolk County planning, so we would not be able to move the application tonight. We should get that by next week. It's usually a week behind, but there's nothing you have to do for that. We have I guess this is a site plan by J. Graham's Consultants dated April 21st, 2021. That shows the overall site. So this is just one unit in that overall site we're talking about tonight?
It's part of a building.
Yeah,
It's two
one
units of
unit,
a part of a
okay.
building, yes.
Okay, and then the second page of that same plan shows the interior with office space and such. I have a survey by Harold Bausch. Yeah, I'm gonna go with, oh no, let me see. March 22nd, 1974, maybe. Tax map acting as an area map and,
Chairman, we have 5 photographs.
okay, what does that tell us about the application?
There is an updated survey, if
Okay.
you have it. It's much more recent than 75.
Yeah, the one I have
April
is-
of 21. It's a renewal application for public garage. That's essentially it. The other relief is they're seeking a diminishment of off-street parking from 79 parking places to 77, and allowed outdoor storage of 5 vehicles per site plan. Again, this has been approved since 2013. The owner-operator's here with me tonight.
Okay. So there doesn't seem to be any problems with the site. It looks like it's been running well. No changes, anything to the operation?
No.
Okay. based on inspection conducted at 6, the applicant's storage requirements exceeded threshold of Suffolk County Article 12. The applicant should coordinate with Suffolk County to register the facility. Did you see that on the environmental control memo? There's a note there.
Yeah, we had one of our inspectors go by. He spoke with the operator and told him what he needed to do with the county. It's nothing to do with the town, it's a county ordinance, and it's just for their own protection. If they ever get an inspection from the county and it's not registered, they'd be liable for it.
Do you know this?
Right, yeah, that was just a couple days ago, we
Yeah,
discussed.
no, come on up.
How would
Name
you-
and address for the record.
180 Great Neck Road, oh, my personal address?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry.
Your name
give,
and address.
name and address, pick one.
Joseph Holgrew, 2 Brewster Place, Hicksville, New York.
Okay, and confirm, tell the truth.
Yes, yes.
Okay, go ahead, answer the question first, please.
Yeah, they stopped by the facility, everything was up to date. The only thing that was concerning was what you guys brought up. He said that has nothing to do with town, it's more of a county thing, so, for my protection. So we're moving forward with that. We're told we want to be in compliance, 100%.
No, that's, yeah, that's,
Right.
That's exactly what we want.
Yep.
Yes.
That's fine. No, there's no reason to hold it up.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's HOLTGREWE. Holt Group. 2 Brewster Place, Hicksville.
Okay. All right, so, we're going to, again, we need to hold this just to get Suffolk County planning, nothing for you guys to do. We will get that more than likely by next week, and then we can move the application. So this was approved.
Chairman's got a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll look into this then.
No, I'm saying for, is it yearly?
Well,
1 year,
I'll get to that.
21. This was approved for 1 year the last time?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Was this, he a new operator at this location, or
How long you been there?
Operating for 1 year.
1 year only? Okay. All right, so we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We'll keep the record open for Suffolk County Planning memo, and then we'll be able to take action on the application, okay?
Okay, we just ask if it's at your pleasure, obviously, but we'd like more than 1 year if possible.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much.
We'll consider that when we,
Have a good night.
okay, this is number 2. I guess so. Weren't they here? Okay, where are we? Application number 2. Application 22206, Jeremiah Dalton, property located in Wyandanch.
Good evening, everyone. Richard Tripkowski, that's Trpickovsky, agent for the applicant. Address is 173 North Main Street, Sayville, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated December 2nd, 2022, Environmental Control memo dated December 6th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Andre Miller dated August 20th, 2021. Tax map acting as an area map.
Mr. Chairman, we have 34 photographs and a site plan by William G. Fisher, dated September 13, 2021.
What would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, this application was originally heard in March of '22 and approved. We're here tonight because the plans haven't changed, and the original plan showed 592 square feet for the garage, but for some reason, at the hearing, it came up at 500 square feet, even though the application showed it as 592. But after we got approved, someone, I guess, in the building department picked it up as, oh, there was something wrong here. We have it as 500, so we needed to come back and be reheard. There are no changes. The plans as provided originally is exactly the same. And we do agree to all previous imposed covenants that were placed on that approval back in March.
Yeah, no. Was that just a calculation error, or? Yeah, okay. Okay, all right, so everything's exactly as it was. You agree to the conditions that were put on this, or covenants and restrictions that were put on this previously?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so it's just a change in the calculation. Okay. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to approve application 22206 with the previously imposed covenants and restrictions. All in favor? All right.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the holidays.
You too. Yeah, yeah, I did, yeah. I actually said it this time. Two old guys here. Oh, yeah, this is true.
Three old guys.
Three old guys.
You leave me out. Change it.
You too. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Pamela Green, Office of the Town Attorney. Would the board like to revisit item number 3 or provide some direction?
Yes, please.
Provide some direction to council or to planning?
Provide some
It's-
direction to me.
It's a really, really nice.
It's really
well
nice.
done.
They did a good job.
Well constructed.
So I definitely want a shed moved or suggested to move. That's the first thing. Do you guys have the pictures out? Is the roof peaked? It is peaked. There's nothing you can really do.
Yeah.
It's the construction one, and then they had many complaints. So that was. But there was another one that I approved as well.
You could.
Yeah, I guess that's the condition we can,
Let's,
yeah.
so what did he say? He would move the shed now, or
Would remove one of the sheds.
one of the sheds?
So that
What
it won't look
relief
lot
does that-
coverage.
Yeah, it would do lot coverage, right? And it would also,
So the only one would be 3 in the height.
oh, yeah. 1 and 2. That doesn't, so variances 4 and 5, is that in regards to one of those sheds? He didn't say which shed he was going to remove, right? All right, so I think we need to find that out, because then we can remove one of those variances also. One's 2.9, the other one's 3.1, so. Yeah, I guess.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The height was for safety. I mean, he's at 14, but.
The chimney.
Yeah, but that's for safety.
Yeah,
You don't really see that. You don't really see that
From the, from the street, you don't see it.
It's on the back side.
It's still a precedent. It is a precedent, but it is a safety issue, though.
Can we approve amended? Can you-
It's very helpful that the board would note any differences there may have observed between this and prior applications. So all of that is helpful on the record.
Number one,
Built in 2002, no complaints.
Supposedly.
No, it says no complaints on the planning.
No, but built in 2002.
Oh, yeah. Allegedly.
There's a scaffolding right behind the fireplace that would be used to surface the fireplace
Maybe it was an old picture, Stephen.
from 2002.
Yeah, they held on to it.
But the board would like planning to reach out, correct? To
Yes,
discuss
we
moving the
would.
shed? So at that time, we would bring it back and then allow the board to discuss.
Perfect.
There's nothing really you could do about it.
There's always something you can do about it.
It's a really well-done structure.
Well, let's ask him about which shed he's willing to take down, so we can get that cleared up, and then talk to him, I guess, about some of the, is there any way they can do anything with that chimney or whatever to get that height down?
Is it the chimney that's only too high?
Yeah, the
2
structure.
feet. Yeah, it's the chimney.
Just the chimney only.
Was that,
That's
was the other one a height problem?
No, that was a structure problem, and,
A smoke
I think it was
problem?
too close to the property line, the original
Mhm.
one that we were discussing.
I don't think it was height.
Did you-
It was
Yeah,
size.
maybe you can check on that for us, okay, please?
VACA, I don't believe it was
That
height,
might
but
give us a little, you know,
I don't think that had anything to do with height. that
I don't, for some reason, I don't think so either, but if you could check on that, Katie, that'd be great.
Okay,
So
ready to move
We'll
on?
continue to hold this one, okay?
Okay. So moving on to page 7 of the agenda, the application of Mary Ann Senkis is adjourned until December 15th,
Yeah.
which brings us to page 8 of the agenda. Roll Right Towing has submitted a radius map. We hope that means they're going to be submitting an application soon to go with the radius map. We keep holding out for that one. Moving on to page 9 of the agenda, the first is application 22-083, Joanne McGinnis. Council has been reaching out to Ms. McGinnis since June with emails and phone calls, and we have not had any new response in several months.
Going over there was.
Babylon.
So on this one, the variance that was most objectionable was item number 1. I don't believe that there were,
I'll make a motion to approve application 22083, variances 2, 3, and 4, deny number 1, and refer to council.
Second.
let me see,
If it, yeah, and the condition that if the shed ever has to be come down and for this repair, that it be built in a legal location.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So long ago, I forgot.
moving on to the bottom of page 9, the application is 22-129, Oscar Madrero. We are still waiting for plans. Moving on to page 10, both of the applications do not have updates unless Ms. Riley has anything to share. Moving on to page 11 of the agenda, if you can please turn your attention to item number 1, your memo in your correspondence packet from Mr. Normoyle. We will go through the proposed changes based on revised plans. The revised plans would change variance number 1 from total building area from 20 to 32%, and that amount would be changed to 31%, and the over amount would be changed from 1,431.2 to 1,381.2. Variance number 2 would be amended to change 2 feet to 0 to 2 feet to 1. Variance number 3 would be deleted. Variance number 4 would be amended from 2 feet to 0 to 2 feet to 0.5, and variance number 5 would be deleted. So if that is satisfactory, the board could approve as amended, as per Rich Normoyle's memo.
So, these are for what, pavers, patio, these 2 to 0? Oh, that's for a shed.
And the concrete, I think it was that he had to, right?
Yeah, all right, he's moved, so what's he doing with the shed? He's moving it a foot, I guess? All right. What do you think? What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm okay with it.
All right. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I'm getting a motion to approve application 22-171 with, as amended as per Rich's memo and approved as amended. And also a condition if the shed is ever removed to a conforming location.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to the bottom of page 11, we do not have an update on Abigail Peralta. Moving on to page 2, we will just revisit the request with the hardship for Mr. Tofali. I don't believe that there's any new correspondence on that, though. And was there any update or outreach?
Waiting on us. Okay.
I believe the primary objection there is the driveway coverage in the front yard. However, if you recall the letter with the hardship
Just
outlining,
asked that he put something green there, and he didn't seem to object. And it breathes.
All right, let's continue to hold that one.
moving on to page 13.
Yeah, ask him if he, ask him if he could put
Paint one green?
flower pot or something. Grass, the whole thing, it's a beautiful house, he keeps it very well, but it's all asphalt and concrete, everything, from one side to the other. And yeah, like I said, he does a nice work, it's very well kept, but it's 100%, I'll say it again, Queens. You know, it's like, we asked him, and he said, he gave us that he would. Yeah, grass.
Back on the paving, cut back on paving and,
A couple of flower beds or something?
He's worried about his health, and he's not gonna be there much longer. If the next guy don't keep it the way he keeps it, then it's gonna be, then we'll get the green, we'll have the weeds growing in between the cracks.
We're going to reach out to him, okay.
Excuse me, moving on to page 13. The application is 22-192, and if the board would please look at the correspondence packet, item number 2 is a memo from Tim Bessemer. This inspection took place, I believe, at the request of Mr. Shepherd, who wanted more information about what the structure was in the driveway.
That one.
So that has been done, and there are photographs accompanying the memo.
This was the concrete, oil
Correct.
changes?
Yeah, he built a pit so he could change his oil.
Planning had also asked if the shed could be relocated to a conforming location, and had also recommended a condition that if the shed were ever taken down, it be rebuilt in a conforming location and the deck not be enclosed. The DEC also had a comment about proximity to the freshwater wetlands as
So-
part of their memo.
Maybe this pit wasn't up, I thought it was right up against the fence, but I guess he's got more concrete or patio or something here, gravel. It's not. But that's how he did his oil changes. I'm gonna take a drive-by and go take a good look at the, because my issue was that the concrete was right up against the property line. Maybe I'm wrong,
Very good.
and I don't think there was anybody
Would you like to
there.
hold over the memo, then?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to the bottom of page 13, if Ms. Riley wanted to give you an update on her conversation with Mr. Padovano.
Yes, I spoke to him. He has been in contact with his neighbor at the board's request. He is willing to relocate the shed. He's thinking of putting it in line with the curtain, but I told him we need it on a plan because that will change the variance, and you need that exact dimension for that. So he will be.
Excuse me. Moving on to page 14. Both of those, the board had asked for follow-up. The first one, the board was asking for evidence of similarly situated properties with similar variances, so we need to provide time for them to be able to do that research. And on the bottom, Marvin Canales, the board wanted the shed relocated, but I don't know that there was outreach.
Said they were adding an addition next to the house to connect the detached garage. I did follow up with him, to see if there was any way he could maybe redesign that. I can follow up again, maybe give him some further ideas.
because otherwise the living space was going to be too close to the adjacent property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Convey that he originally asked, when he was looking to do this renovation, to dormer a part of the house, but that was financially impossible for him to do, so that's where he redirected it to this addition.
Thank you. If we can move on to the last page, your first item in correspondence was the memo from Mr. Normoyle regarding the application of Kenya Vanterpool. The second is the memo from Tim Bessemer, which we will hold over to next week to allow Mr. Shepherd to make a site visit. We are also now moving on to correspondence from last week's packet. That was an oversight. I apologize. There was correspondence in the board's packet last week from Daniel Russo. It was a request for height variance. It was number 22-153. The board referred to council for written findings. He submitted an email stating, "I would like to withdraw my application for a variance." It's the gentleman who had received back the plans from New York State approving the pitch change with the modular home. So if the board would accept that request, we would just need to have a motion to recall the application, allow the applicant to withdraw the application, and revoke your direction to council to prepare findings. I believe it was located, was it Lindenhurst? Amityville?
Copac, yeah, it's
Copac?
Amity Harbor.
Yeah, I think so.
Make a motion to recall.
Make a motion to recall application 22-153.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, just approve, he's gonna,
Make a motion to withdraw application 22-153. Revoke direction to council to prepare the findings.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. That moves us on to accepting the minutes of November 17th, which were reviewed last week.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of November 17th, 2022.
All in favor?
For your review are the minutes of December 1st, and if the board has no recommended changes, the findings for 22-131 and 132 for Christine Seawall and Michael Apuzzo, they were for the second front doors, the application for the second front doors. If you
So,
To accept the findings of application 22-131 and 22-132.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And I appreciate that, Ms. McCullough, very much. Thank you. And that, pending correspondence about roll right, I suppose we're just keeping our fingers crossed that they're submitting an application. I don't know that we have any correspondence, though, correct? Not sure what that was. So with that, that concludes your agenda.
Good? Motion?
Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor?